Okay, so here's the thing. How do you actually be yourself? This sounds like one of those self-help quotes on Pinterest or like whatever your mom said to you before your first day of high school, but honestly, how many of us have actually figured out how to be ourselves? It sounds so easy. Just be you. But who the hell is you anyway? Who are we really when we're not playing some sort of role or doing what's expected of us? And honestly, it's harder than it sounds. Like, so much harder. Because being yourself means so many different things. Breaking free from the way that society expects you to act, navigating social pressure, and confronting the very real possibility that you might even not know who you are yet. So today we're gonna get real about how to stop pretending. We're gonna dive into some philosophy, but I promise I'll keep it chill. I'm not gonna give you a TED Talk that makes you feel bad about not being yourself already. We're just gonna reflect on this idea, this authentic self idea, and we're gonna figure it out together. Thank you so much for 93 subscribers. Hey, that's crazy. Thank you. Part 1. The pressure to be somebody. Let's get this out of the way first. There's a lot of pressure to be somebody. You know the whole thing where society expects you to be this perfectly curated version of yourself? It's exhausting. I'm talking about social media, career expectations, and just even day-to-day interactions with people who expect you to have it together. It feels like every time you leave the house, you're supposed to be this best version of yourself, but what if that version isn't you? Philosophers would argue that this is bad news. We are condemned to be free. I think Sartre, is that his name, said that? He was a big existentialist. And I know that that sounds dramatic. We are condemned to be free. But what he meant is this. We are free to choose who we are. But that freedom comes with some serious responsibility. The catch is that the choice is always ours. And if we don't actively make it, we end up being shaped by external forces. In other words, if you're always trying to fit into some version of who you think you should be, whether it's influenced by Instagram influencers or your high school's idea of being cool, you're not really choosing who you are. You're just being molded by whatever external pressure is around you. B-plot time. This is my angle when I get into the B-plot and I get real. Except, I'm actually going to stick with this angle because I'm not going to be hunching over my computer like that. Sorry, guys. The battle between who you are and who you're expected to be. I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes I don't even know what parts of me are actually me. Am I showing up as who I am or who I think I'm supposed to be? I find myself adjusting to different environments, making small changes in my personality or how I dress just to fit in with a certain group or to please others. It's like the worst game of identity dress up, and it's exhausting. So we can start small, thinking about what parts of ourselves that we've hidden away because we don't think it's acceptable, and maybe embracing those things again, those little tiny things, is the key to finding your true self again. Part 2. Authenticity and the power of choice. Okay, so we've established that there's a lot of external pressure to be something that we are not. But how do we actually be ourselves? Let's talk about authenticity. The thing is, authenticity is more than just a trendy buzzword. Kierkegaard, the Danish philosopher who was all about authenticity, he believed that being true to yourself is an active process. It's a choice, not a default setting that you were born with. Kierkegaard said that to be authentic, we needed to confront the absurdity of life and make choices that reflect who we truly are, even when society tells us to go in a different direction. It's not about just being yourself in some static, easy way. It's about living in acceptance with your values, your morals, your desires, your truth, despite all the noise. But honestly, it's hard, because we live in a world where being perfect or fitting in is glorified. And sometimes being yourself feels like a form of rebellion. It feels uncomfortable and vulnerable. But the truth is, freedom isn't about being free from rules. It's about actively choosing how you live your life every single day. But what does being yourself even mean? Sometimes I wonder, what does being myself even look like? Is it the person I am when I'm with my friends or the person I am when I'm alone? Is it me in public? Is it me in school? Is it me when I'm scrolling through TikTok at 3 a.m.? I'm starting to realize that maybe being myself isn't about knowing all the right answers right away. It's about figuring it out and accepting that who I am right now might just not be who I will be tomorrow. Maybe being authentic is just showing up as I am and allowing that person to evolve. We are being actively molded by the people around us. And that's what our parents mean when they say that we're hanging out with somebody that's a bad influence, or to surround ourselves with good people. Because that is genuinely what's happening. We are being shapen by what we observe, what we notice is accepted, and we just fit ourselves into that same shape. Part 3, the danger of comparison. You know what really messes with being yourself? Comparison. We are constantly looking at other people, wondering why they seem to have it all together, why their lives look so perfect. We compare our behind the scenes to everybody else's Instagram highlights. And it's easy to forget that their authenticity might just be as performed as ours. Beauvoir, I think was her name, the philosopher, she talked about how we are shaped by the rules that others expect us to play by. She said that in a society, for example, that enforces certain gender roles, people can be led to believe that their identity is not really theirs to choose. They're boxed into something based on social norms. This pressure to conform, to compare, is what takes us away and so much further from our true selves. And the worst part is, it's so easy to get stuck in it. We start questioning ourselves all the time, doubting our choices, and trying to live somebody else's life. But being yourself is not about following somebody else's script. It's about making the decision to carve out your own, even if you think they're the ideal that you want to achieve in life, because they're not. You want to achieve something that you are. It is so convoluted to think that you need to become like somebody else to be happy in life, when the true happiness actually comes from who you are. We are our saddest with comparison. B-plot. I've started muting the noise. I realize that I'm letting comparison dictate how I feel about my own life. So today I'm consciously not comparing myself to others, just focusing on my own path, my own journey. It's hard, as is everything. Nothing's easy, but it's freeing to stop looking outside and looking within. The real question is, what do I want? Not what everyone else has, not what everyone else is doing, just me. I'm still figuring it out. But it feels good to at least try to break free from the cycle of comparison. Part 4, being yourself in a world that's constantly changing. And here's the thing. Being yourself doesn't mean you always know who you are. Sometimes being authentic is just about embracing change. Life doesn't stop moving. It never stops moving for anything. People grow, we change, our circumstances evolve. Being yourself isn't about staying stagnant. It's about adapting while staying true to your core values. You cannot step into the same river twice. Heraclitus? Was that his name? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making up all these names, but I think that was the Greek philosopher's name. I think he said that. And what he meant is that we're always in flux. We're always changing. And authenticity isn't about being a fixed version of yourself. It's about embracing that change and being true to who you are in each new moment. So when people say just be yourself, it's not about being this perfect static version of you. It's about accepting that who you are is always evolving, and that's okay. So how do you actually be yourself? Maybe it's about realizing that being authentic isn't about fitting into some mold. It's about choosing how to live in alignment with who you are now, not how others expect you to be. I don't know why I'm holding a gallon of milk while saying this. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe it's messy, but I think being yourself is about making the decision to stop performing and start living. So let's try it. Let's stop pretending. Let's start showing up as we really are, even if that means being a little awkward. Let's embrace change. Let's embrace our imperfections and stop comparing ourselves to everyone else so much. Authenticity isn't a final destination. It's a journey. One where we learn to be comfortable with who we are as we are. Authenticity isn't perfection. It's the courage to be real. Love you. Okay. MacBook Core.